two small words. Two single-syllable words. Words you've probably heard 1,000 times in church, in sermons, in songs, in prayers. Trust God. Simple to say, so easy to repeat. But as the years pass, as life unfolds, as unexpected storms crash against your house, you discover those two words are not so simple to live out. Because trusting God is easy when life is smooth, when prayers are answered, when healing comes, when doors open. When doors open. But what about when the prayers aren't answered, when the healing doesn't come, when the door stays locked? What about when life breaks your heart? I can't predict your future. I don't know what valleys you will walk through. But I do know this: life will bring loss. You may lose your home in a fire. You may lose your spouse to an illness you begged God to heal. You may lose a friendship you thought would last forever. You may lose the dreams you once carried in your heart. And every loss will sting. Every goodbye will carve deep into your soul. I remember when my own father's health declined. We prayed with the same faith and fervor we prayed for my mother. We quoted the same scriptures. We believed God would raise him up. But the healing didn't come. My father went home to be with the Lord. It didn't happen the way I wanted. And in moments like that, questions flood your mind. Why, God? Why didn't you heal? Why did you let this happen? Why didn't you stop it? Some questions will never have answers on this side of eternity. Some mysteries will remain wrapped in silence until heaven explains them. But here's the truth I've learned: God never allows pain without a purpose. He never permits sorrow without a plan. It may not feel good, but he promises to work it for good. The Word of God reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. That verse is easy to quote when life is going well. But when your prayers are met with silence, when your path looks crooked, when the road ahead feels broken, that's when trust becomes the hardest and the most necessary. So what do you do when life doesn't go your way? When you're mistreated, when the doctor's report is negative, when you work hard but still get overlooked, when prayers seem unanswered. You resist discouragement, you lift your eyes higher, you remind your heart, God is still good, even when life isn't. God is still sovereign, even when I don't understand. God is still for me, even when everything feels against me. Because here's the truth: God sees the bigger picture. What you call a setback may actually be a setup. What you call an ending may actually be a beginning. What you call unanswered prayer may. क्योंकि नेपाल एक सर्वसंपन्न राष्ट्र है, जिसका इतिहास, संस्कृति, राजनीति और पहचान पूरी तरह से स्वतंत्र रही है। लेकिन अगर हम हाल ही में हो रही घटनाओं को ध्यान से देखें, तो ऐसा लगता है कि मानो इतिहास खुद को दोहराने की तैयारी कर रहा है। अब कुछ ऐसा होने जा रहा है जिसकी नींव दशकों पहले रखी गई थी। दरअसल जो नेपाल हमेशा से भारत का एक घनिष्ठ, सांस्कृतिक और भौगोलिक पड़ोसी देश रहा है, वो अब एक ऐसे मोड़ पर खड़ा है जहां से उसकी आगे की दिशा केवल राजनीतिक नहीं, बल्कि ऐतिहासिक, धार्मिक और रणनीतिक दृष्टिकोण से भी भारत के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण हो चुकी है। तो आखिर भारत और नेपाल के एक साथ शामिल होने के पीछे कौन सा महत्वपूर्ण तर्क छिपा हुआ है? आइए समझते हैं आज के इस वीडियो में। लेकिन आगे बढ़ने से पहले, अगर आप हमारे चैनल पर पहली बार आए हैं, तो इस वीडियो को एक लाइक करके कमेंट बॉक्स में वंदे भारत जरूर लिख दीजिए। दोस्तों, अगर कल सुबह आपको ये खबर मिले कि नेपाल अब भारत का हिस्सा बनने जा रहा है, तो इसका असर कैसा होगा? क्या वास्तव में ऐसा संभव है? क्या नेपाल और भारत कभी एक Until then, keep trusting. Trust with all your heart. Trust in all your ways. Trust when you don't see the answer. Trust when the night is long. Trust when the night is sharp. Trust God. Trust God. Because trust isn't about understanding his plan. Trust is about resting in his character. And this God, the one who loved you enough to die for you, can be trusted even when nothing makes sense. We often think, when my promotion comes, I'll finally be happy. When I meet the right person, I'll finally feel fulfilled. When my health improves, then I'll have a good attitude. When we have that baby, then life will be complete. When we have that baby, then life will be complete. But friend, that kind of mindset is what I call conditional trust. It says, God, I'll trust you if, I'll serve you if, I'll keep a good attitude if you answer my prayers on my timetable, in the way I want, exactly how I planned. The problem with conditional trust is simple: it will never be satisfied. Because there will always be something we don't understand. There will always be prayers that don't get answered the way we hoped. There will always be delays, disappointments, and detours. If you only trust God when He does things your way, your trust is built on sand. And when the storm comes, you'll get bitter, frustrated, and discouraged. I've learned this the hard way. I've prayed fervently. For certain outcomes. I've asked for doors to open, for situations to turn around, for problems to be solved instantly. And when God didn't answer the way I wanted, I could have gotten angry. I could have said, God, you didn't hear me. You didn't care. You didn't show up. But here's the truth. God did answer my prayer. It just wasn't in the way I expected. It wasn't on my schedule. It wasn't in my script. And friend, the question we all have to face is this: are you mature enough to accept God's answers, even when they're not what you were hoping for? The Bible tells us again and again, we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith means trusting God, even when life doesn't make sense. It means believing His plan is still good, even when your plan falls apart. It means saying, Lord, I don't understand it, but I trust you anyway. God is sovereign. His ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Isaiah 55:8-9. We will never fully understand everything He allows, but listen to me, those twists and turns, those disappointments, those losses, those closed doors, they are all part of His design. God doesn't lead us in a straight line. God doesn't lead us in a straight line. He takes us through valleys, deserts, and detours, because every path is shaping us, teaching us, preparing us for what's ahead. If your trust is conditional, you'll see a closed door and think, I'm going the wrong way. You'll face a delay and say, God has forgotten me? You'll encounter loss and conclude, it's over? But if your trust is complete, you'll look at the same situations and declare, this hurts, but God is still directing my steps. This doesn't make sense, but God is still with me. This isn't what I wanted, but God is still good. That's the difference. Conditional trust collapses under pressure. Complete trust rests in God's character, even when His plan is hidden. Think about Job. He lost everything: his wealth, his health, his family. If anyone had the right to give up on God, it was Job. Yet in the middle of his agony he said, though He slay me, yet will I trust Him. Job 13:15. That's not conditional trust, that's complete trust. That's faith that refuses to quit, even when the story feels unfair. Friend, some of the greatest blessings in life come disguised as disappointments. Sometimes the closed doors are not God's rejection. They are His redirection. Sometimes the no is actually His mercy. Sometimes the detour is the only way to your destiny. And often, it's not even about the outcome, it's about the test. God is watching to see, will you trust me even when life doesn't make sense? Will you keep worshiping me, even when prayers seem unanswered? Will you still follow me when the path turns in a direction you didn't expect? Living worried, frustrated, disappointed, that only drains your passion, it steals your joy, it blinds you to God's favor that's still working in your life. But when you choose to trust, fully, completely, without conditions, peace fills your heart, strength rises in your soul. And you begin to see that even the crooked paths are being made straight by the hand of God. So let me ask you, are you willing to trust Him with no conditions? Will you trust Him when the prayer isn't answered? Will you trust Him when the promotion doesn't come? Will you trust Him when life takes an unexpected turn? Because that's what faith really is, resting in the character of God, not the outcome of your circumstances. And I promise you this, The God who led you this far is too faithful to abandon you now. Trust him, not just if, not just when, trust him. Always. So many of us live with this thought: when I finally have the house, then I'll be happy. When I finally have the baby, then I'll be complete. When the healing comes, then I'll be at peace. But friend, can I tell you the truth? That's a trap of conditional trust. Because if your joy is tied to one, or if, you'll always be chasing happiness but never finding it. Real faith says, God, even if the house never comes, I won't live bitter and sour. Even if the baby doesn't arrive, I will still worship you. Even if my health doesn't improve the way I prayed, I'll still honor you with my life. I'll still give you my best. That's what moves the heart of God. When he sees that you don't have to have the answer in order to trust him, that's when many times he'll turn around and give you back what you were willing to lay down. Remember Abraham? He was willing to place Isaac, the promised child, on the altar, and because of his unconditional obedience, God not only spared Isaac but multiplied the blessing over his entire lineage. So let me ask you, are you living frustrated today because your prayers haven't been answered the way you wanted? Are you discouraged because your plans aren't working out on your timetable? Take the pressure off. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to carry the weight of how it will happen. God is in control. He sees the bigger picture. He knows exactly what's best for you. You're not always going to understand it, and that's okay, because if you did understand every twist and turn, it wouldn't require any faith. Faith begins where explanations end. I'm asking you today, trust him unconditionally. Trust him when the door doesn't open. Trust him when the healing doesn't come. Trust him when life feels like it's going in the opposite direction. Because here's the promise: when you choose that kind of trust, you choose that kind of trust, you position yourself for God's best, you open the door for his supernatural favor, and I declare this over you. God is working out his plan for your life right now. He's going to open the right doors. He's going to bring the right people. He's going to turn those negative situations around, and he's going to take you into the fullness of your destiny. Don't let bitterness steal your joy. Don't let frustration silence your praise. The same God who carried you this far is too faithful to abandon you now, so lift your head, strengthen your heart, and declare it out loud. God, I trust you, not conditionally, not halfway, but fully and completely. Even when I don't understand it, I trust you. Even when it hurts, I trust you. Even when it feels unfair, I trust you. Even when it feels unfair, I trust you. Because that's what faith really is. It's resting in the unchanging character of God, not the ever-changing circumstances of life. And if you'll trust him this way, believe you're going to see him do what only he can do. He will turn mourning into dancing. He will turn weeping into joy. He will turn broken places into beautiful testimonies. And he will lead you into the destiny he designed long before you were born. So today, don't wait for everything to line up perfectly to be at peace. Don't wait for the miracle to arrive before you worship. Make the choice right now. God, no matter what, I trust you. Because when you trust him unconditionally, you'll discover peace that passes understanding, joy that circumstances can't steal, and hope that no storm can shake. Trust him, always, without conditions, with your whole heart. Because his plan is greater, his ways are higher, and his love never fails. And his love never fails.